Motherhood is a journey. For some, motherhood is an accident, and it's not always welcome. For some, biological motherhood is not possible. Mothers aren't always nice. Some mothers are amazing. Motherhood, under the very best of circumstances, is not an easy journey. See, there are stumbling blocks, there's pitfalls, broken dreams, soiled diapers, messed up walls, spoiled plans. I remember when Brittany was little, she was not a child that wrote on the walls. She chose to write on my stone fireplace. I scrubbed it, I prayed over it, and that stone just absorbed that marker. And it was there until we sold that house. But you couldn't see it because I went to the store and bought this really nice, fantastic piece of pottery and put some great looking sticks in it. So nobody ever knew it was there. Even when I sold the house, they didn't know it was there till I packed it away and took it on my truck with me. Motherhood is a never-ending journey. I've put down a few words for Mom today. It's an honor to share this moment with you. This is why I still need my mom. Like most mother-daughter relationships, our partnership has regressed through all the traditional stages. As a child, I helped her run the house because, after all, bossing came natural to me. However, there were a few occasions when I was reminded that I was not the boss. As a teenager, I benefited from her unwavering support and constant care. See, some teens think they have dumb parents. And it takes you till you're in your late 20s and early 30s to realize they weren't quite as dumb after all. But I was privileged to watch my parents lead successful lives and mentor people to live on another level of living. I quickly observed that you and Walter Atkinson were champions in every sense of the word. It wasn't until my college years that I finally realized how much I missed your homemade mashed potatoes. Gosh, I would love to have some more of those. And around-the-clock laundry service, I would like to have that too. In my 20s, she was my biggest cheerleader, my staunchest defender, my shopping partner, and she still is, and my wedding planner. And now we're best friends. I still find myself relying on her assistance more than ever. There are questions that only a mom can answer, like, how can I tell if this hamburger meat is still good? You know, when it's brown and stinky, don't call Mom. When in doubt, throw it out. Or you ask Mom, is it really necessary to hand wash this shirt, or was this just a suggestion? And then when you don't, and it's about 4 sizes too small, you know, the next time you go to put it on. Or when it says don't dry it in the dryer, and you did. Or maybe Mom is the only one who knows what poison ivy looks like. Remember when you were younger and you misplaced something, it was always your mom and her unique role to be able to find what nobody else in the house could find. Chances are she still possesses that power. It's an even greater chance that that unique role has been passed down to you, ma'am. Often in my home and here at Metro Tab, my home away from home, I find myself being the designated all-time finder of all things. When I look back over the years, I cannot tell you how many calls that I have made to you and gotten your guidance. For example, on Brittany's 17th birthday, when she slammed her car into a tree, resulting in surgery on her ankle, I called Dad and Mom to tell them, but insisted they not come. I knew they would pitch a fit if they found out their grandbaby was in surgery, and I didn't tell them that. But in just a few hours, they walked in the door of the hospital. Most recently, in the past 2.5 years, she's made numerous trips to Honduras to help us on the journey to adopt Josiah. This is our daughter's 3rd Mother's Day to be in Honduras. So if you think about the living that you have done over the last 3 Mother's Day, she's been gone a long time. And as Mom says, it's her last Mother's Day in Honduras, in Jesus' name. If you are a guest here in the house, you may not know what that means. Our daughter and son-in-law are in an adoption process to adopt a beautiful boy named Josiah. He's 2.5 years old. Brittany's been with him since he was 15 days old. It's been a journey, and my husband is there with them now. Without having to ask, this lady slept on the floor by Brittany's baby bed when Brittany was a week old, trying to get that child to go to sleep so I could get some sleep. Mom, you've been a rise to the challenge kind of lady. You swoop in with reassuring words and a calming presence that makes everyone feel better. You have the ability to make your children, your grands, your great-grands feel more than just love. We feel blessed and a little bit spoiled. The influence of a mother is impossible to underestimate. Her example becomes your habit and her voice becomes your own. It was a scary moment when I opened my mouth and heard her coming out of it. As a child, she would tell me at times, because I said so. I hated it. I wanted a reason. But as a mom, I quickly learned sometimes that's the only reason. So do it or die, because I said so. It's even scarier for her when I open my mouth and she hears my dad speaking. A mom can simultaneously serve as your confidant and your critic, your biggest supporter and your advisor. You can mend broken hearts with a trip to the mall. We can go this afternoon if you want to. She can cure boredom with a movie and popcorn. She sews ripped prom dresses and pays for wedding gowns. She knows my greatest secrets and has walked with me through the darkest hours of life, and she still loves me. Over the years, every mother dries your tears and a few of her own. And she holds a unique position of having changed both your diapers and those of your children. I guess that makes moms a butt specialist. So today, as we pause to reflect on our blessings and give thanks for the wonderful people in our lives, I want to send out a special thank you to every mom who sacrifices your needs for those of your family. Thank you for staying up late to help with homework. Thank you for doing those projects overnight that your child did not tell you about until the night before. Oh, God, and they live through it. Because it's our grade after all, Thank you for spending your days at your job and your weekends in the bleachers. Thank you for skipping showers and hair appointments to make it to gymnastics. A special thanks to all of you single moms who play the role of both parents. I am in awe of you. To the moms who marry into motherhood and assume the role with grace and dignity, thank you for showing the world that love isn't bound by bloodline. And for those of you that welcome children into your arms that you didn't carry in your womb, you are proof that a mother's love is unconditional and the world could use a lot more women like you. For the moms who are watching from heaven, we search for your guidance in our hearts, and your absence is felt daily. Even though we wish we could hear your voice just one more time, if we stand real still, we can. We anticipate a glorious reunion with you one day. And to my mom, Olita Atkinson, thank you for setting the standard of what a godly, loving mother looks like. I'm also loving watching you in this season of your life. You've earned the right to enjoy and spoil your kids. And we all think you're the bomb.com. Psalm 127 verse 1 says, unless the Lord builds a house, the work of the builders is wasted. Attempting to build our lives or to build a home that stands the test of time without God is futile. But, as Mom will share, there are some joy-filled realities.
Yes, there are. There's nothing in this world that's more frustrating, yet fulfilling, challenging, yet fun than being a mom. I learned on you. You were my guinea pig. Today I have my youngest daughter, Rhonda, is here with her wonderful husband.
Perfect child is here. I love my sis.
Well, it took 3 times, to get perfection.
That's what you say.
Then I have 2 wonderful granddaughters here.
That's not what you said in first service, but we won't tell them.
We're not. Since she's here, I'll couch my words. But I'm a blessed mom. God enabled Walter and me to have 3 beautiful daughters. Rita.
3 weddings.
3 weddings, 3 college educations, 3 everything. And they gave us 5 wonderful grandchildren. Now I have another grandson by marriage, and I'm getting 2 new granddaughters by marriage this year. The 2 grandsons are getting married. It's going to be a fun year. I love hanging out with my family. I never birthed any sons, but God gave me sons that I love, could not love more if I had birthed them. Randall is here. He cooks for me. Is that not an awesome thing? He'll call and say, I've got a grill on. You want to come? The 2 granddaughters are my shopping and going to movie buddies, and I love it when they hang out with me. But We should have known that motherhood is not going to be easy because it started with labor and it never ends. You know, I have learned that mothers are guinea pigs in a scientific experiment that proves humans can live without sleep. Mothers, your days are so full that you never have time to brush your hair and your teeth in the same day. And your 4-year-old may run in and jubilantly announce, "Mom, you can't flush a grapefruit." Yeah. You look forward to the next dental appointment. At least I got a chance to sit down and listen to good music. And my dentist gives happy gas. And I told him, I will come by every week and pay you for that wonderful feeling. My only hope of breakfast in bed was a little Debbie cake hidden under my pillow. My idea of a balanced diet was a Diet Coke in one hand, a cookie in the other. Some days, my idea of housework was a glance, because that's about all I swept the floor with. I didn't have time to shampoo and shave my legs in the shower at one time. You hide in the bathroom, but my little girl's fingers would come under the door. "Mommy, are you done yet?"
That's when you say, "If there's no blood, don't call me. And if there is blood, if you're still talking, don't call me."
And I learned that spit was the best thing to clean up faces with.
Okay, so did your mother, use her spit to wipe your face?
Well,
I would tell her, "Use my spit. I will spit on my hand, and you wipe my face with my spit."
Well, it worked. I learned that my child could throw up and I could catch it in midair. And isn't it great that when you change your own child's diaper or your grandchild's diaper that it's perfectly okay? But oh God, when you have to change somebody else's kid.
Okay, tell them what you did with my diaper, what you and Dad did.
Well, Walter and I married young, and we pastored a church very young. He was 24, I'm 22. I didn't know what to do with him. He didn't know what to do with me. We had a new church. We had a new baby. She was 6 weeks old, weighed about 10 pounds. And we walk into this church. Well, I won't go into all the details, but they were so happy to have us. The former pastor was 64 and Walter was 24. They thought they had died and gone to heaven. So we played with Rita. See, God knew I needed her. We married while he was still doing university, and I wanted a baby so badly. We had no money, and we didn't have common sense, or I wouldn't have gotten pregnant in 2.5 months.
But her mother was very scared.
Mother said, "What are we going to tell people?" I said, "Mother, it didn't take but 9 months. I've been married 11 and a half. Okay. My mother was very puritanical. So Walter and I would just play in the parsonage. You know, we had not a whole lot else to do. We were learning how to pastor. And so one morning I was bent over the bed changing her diaper. And all of a sudden, this quirky guy I married came by, grabbed up the diaper, and swiped my face with it. All war broke out. I chased that boy through that house until I caught him, and I wiped his face down clearly.
Meanwhile, I'm on the bed by myself, completely
We left her on the bed.
And you wonder what's wrong with me.
Well, anyway, I learned on you. You hope that ketchup is a vegetable because that's the only one your kid's going to eat. And then I opened my mouth and I heard my mother's voice come out, and it was not always good.
I think we all do that. There are joy-filled realities on this journey. And as soon as you realize you're going to be a parent, the juggling begins. And the moment you realize that they tell you you're going to be a mom, you just need to understand life as you know it is over. Amen. Before I had Brittany, I had time to do my nails. I don't know what I did with my hours before I had that little being that came into my life. Being a parent is a really big deal. And you understand that God is entrusting you with a life. And I don't know why it is, God makes you look to other people very beautiful while you're pregnant. When you look in the mirror, it is not what you see. I remember turning sideways. From behind, I didn't get that big. From the front and the side, it was like a basketball had been placed inside of my clothes. very misshapen. When you would turn to the side, I'm thinking, oh God, it will never go back. And your insides don't go back, and you may be what the size you want to be again, but you can promise yourself something will never go back. Something will remain. And I don't know what God's plan was. Everybody says you glow. Mother says you sweat when you're pregnant. But, when that baby leaves your body, it's like all the good stuff leaves your body with that baby. And you got to replenish some stuff, so,
Hey, the hormones go back to Hormone City, and you don't like him, and you don't like it.
Yeah. There's a moment you look at this child going, why are you here? Why are you here? See, parenting has moments that takes your breath away. With, your first child, the first illness scares you. By the time you get the second or third child, if their arm is still attached, it's okay. We got this.
On the baby book thing, I had elaborate, beautiful baby book, and I detailed when she breathed. The second girl, a few pages. Rhonda's is on notebook paper.
Life happens.
Sorry, Rhonda.
It takes your breath away the first day they go to school. It takes your breath away the first date. You need to start working on that now if you have young children. Daddy, raise the bar for your princess. Mom, raise the bar for your prince. They probably can't find you in a 17-year-old body, but they need to be looking for you.
Do you know what your daddy told you about bringing home a guy?
Can you tell him exactly?
Yeah.
Dad said don't bring home any jackasses.
We
Bring
want
home
thoroughbreds. And they did.
But if you date a jackass,
run.
Just saying.
Run.
And if you marry one, you're going to be braying for a long time. See, it takes your breath away when they go to college. It takes your breath away when they get married. I remember very well, the church was filled with people. Pastor was down front. All of our wedding party was there, and the music was playing, and Dad and I were the only ones at the back of this sanctuary. The doors had not opened yet for me to walk down the aisle on Dad's arm. And he turned to me with those dark eyes of his that had protected me all of my life. He said, baby, you want me and you just to leave and go get something to eat? And much to his shock, I said, yes, sir. And I said to him, I said, I love that guy at the end of the aisle down there. I said, but I don't know. I said, I think I know, and I hope what I think he will be. And on this side of the fence, he turned out pretty good. He's a keeper. But at that point in time, all of a sudden it was a moment of truth for me, and it was very serious because I was doing it for one time. But the guy who I was on his arm, I knew what he was. And I knew if I chose to not go down that aisle and stay with him and this lady, it was an easy ride. My dad loved me. He covered me. He had shown me what a man was supposed to be. And it would turn into a role reversal. He said, but now, baby, this is what you want. And I'm just going, in that moment, because he raised the bar. So there's moments that take your breath away. It'll take your breath away when they call you and say, do you want to be called grandma or granny? And your response will be neither. Grandmas did not look like this nor this in my day. I loved my grandmothers. They were amazing women of God. But neither of their moms looked like this package right here. Grandmas have changed. You're smoking hot, and I'm proud of you.
The only way I'm going to be smoking hot is if they cremate me. Just saying.
My other grandmothers just did not look like this. Just did not. Just did not. Life as a mom is a constant roller coaster. It brings exhilarating moments that sometimes will scare you speechless.
It's our opportunity and our responsibility to give advice. Sometimes that advice is heeded and sometimes it's ignored. But I want to just share with you some other famous mothers who gave advice, and you can choose for yourself whether or not they took it. Like the mother of Michelangelo. Mike Can you stop writing? Can you just write on the walls like all other boys? Do you know how hard it is to get that stuff off the ceiling? And then there was Albert Einstein. Albert, it's your senior picture. Can you get some mousse or spray or a brush going on? Good gracious, you look terrible. And then there was Humpty Dumpty. Humpty, Humpty, have I told you once? I've told you 100 times. Do not sit on that wall. And then there's the mother of Samson. Samson, don't stick your hand in that lion. You don't know where it's been. And then there's the mother of David. I told you not to play in the house with that sling. Go practice your harp. We paid lots of money for those lessons. And the mother of Abraham. Abraham, stop wandering around the country and come home for dinner. Mother of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Boys, I told you not to play with fire. The mother of Cain. Stop fighting with your brother. One day you're going to kill him. Mother of Noah. No, you cannot keep all those animals. Don't bring home any more. Then there was the mother of James and John. I've told you stop burping at the table. They're going to call you sons of thunder. Mother of Judas. Have you been in my purse again? I'm missing money. And then even the mother of Jesus. Don't you dare walk away from me and not tell me where you're going.
And they do, and we did. As a parent, on this journey of life, you have to remember that you're living in the grip of grace. God is for you. Turn to the sideline of your life. That's God cheering your run. Look past the finish line. That's God applauding your steps. Listen for him in the bleachers. He's the one shouting your name. Too tired to continue on some days, he will carry you. See, when the madness of life gets you, when you have kid crisis and life crisis and computer crashes and health hassles and family feuds, Psalm 46:10 says, be still and know that he is God. And there'll be seasons, there'll be moments in your life where you just have to stand still and breathe. I went to the funeral home with Mom this Friday night. Had a dear friend to pass away. They've been lifetime friends. This man's father was in Mom and Dad's wedding as best man. So his parents and my parents have been lifetime friends. And David Medford got up in his home on Wednesday morning to get ready to go to the office. Went in his master bathroom and never came out. He dropped dead with a heart attack, having no pre-existing situations to deal with. So we stood with them Friday evening in a funeral home. Very different Mother's Day weekend for his mom, Noretta, and his wife, Kay, and his sister, Deanna. Very different weekend. See, life is a journey, and you have to understand that in those moments, the God that loves you doesn't walk out. You know, Mom and I walked up to Kay, and people have very well-meaning things to say, you know, and we all try to come up with something to say. I learned a long time ago, sometimes it's better not to say anything, just hug them and hold them. Because in those devastating moments, you know, we were here with Dad's casket, and there was some goofy things said. And I just want to say, just go on. You know, when I walked up to Kay, I said, baby, I don't have anything to say to you, but this sucks. She buried her head on my chest, and she said, you just read my heart. And they're great Christian people. But in those moments, it's a personal journey to stop and realize he's with you when you don't understand what's just happened to you suddenly, out of nowhere, seemingly. So in those moments, if you're close enough to me to ask for advice, my advice is often this: breathe. In any crisis, breathe. Because sometimes it's the only thing you can do is just stop and remind yourself to breathe. Because breathing helps you process. Breathing helps you not to panic. Breathing calms you. And it enables your brain to get some oxygen to help you get through those moments. There's a jubilant promise. There's joy-filled realities on this journey. There's juicy facts. But there's a juicy promise. There's a jubilant promise. Life is a journey. This journey begins and ends with accountability. And we urge you often in this house, live an accountable life. Let someone have the honor and responsibility of speaking into your life. The reason Steve and Rita Ball haven't made as many life eras as we could have is because we submitted ourselves to Walter and Olita Atkinson. Pastor has told you often, Dad was his mentor. He was his spiritual father. He submitted himself to him openly. There's painful moments when you do that because it's not always a rosy journey. It's not, and I remember Steve saying to him, "Don't sugarcoat it with me." And I remember just wincing inside. I'm like, "Oh God, you have no clue what you're saying." But when you live your life accountable to someone and they have the right, see, a mentor or a spiritual mom and spiritual father love you more than they do themselves. They want life to be better for you than it was for them. You know that when you're in the presence of a spiritual father or spiritual mother, when you feel better for having been with them. You can leave a legacy. Maybe a legacy wasn't handed down to you. Maybe your dad was not what he was supposed to be. Maybe your mom was not what she was supposed to be. You can stop the madness in your life. And you can design a legacy to leave for your children. To leave, you say, "I don't have any kids." Oh yeah, there's some kids on this earth waiting on you. You may not have birthed them, but I can promise you this. There's someone in your life, sir. There's someone in your life, it may be a grown child, who needs you in their life. You can impact your world. See, on our deathbed, we won't request the diploma. We won't look at the deed of our house. We won't check out the bank notes or all of our money. When you come to the last moments in this earth, the only thing you want with you is those who've walked out the journey. That's who you want to stand next to you. So I'm going to challenge you. Don't take your moments for granted. Don't assume they will always be there. Don't assume you'll have another moment to say, "I love you." Don't leave the house mad. Get over your anger. There's nothing that we deal with in this earth realm that is strong enough to sabotage a relationship unless you let it. I want to leave you with a promise. Hebrews 13:5 says, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." See, if you do this life long enough, you may have been abandoned by your mom. She may have had reasons why she couldn't be your mom. Your dad may have been AWOL. Your spouse may have chosen to break covenant and walk out on you. Your kids may be in one of those seasons where they're working on their testimony. Regardless of your season, Hebrews 13:5 says, there is a heavenly Father, a Savior, that will never, ever walk out on you. So when we stood in a funeral home Friday night with a mom and a wife and a sister who should have been losing their minds with grief, they stood there, yes, grieving, yes, but they know a higher force in their life. And that force will be there when the family walks out and their friends are celebrating their mom's day to day. In the hours to come, it's this Father that never walks out. It's Him who leads us season to season, step by step, moment by moment. And sir, He is with you regardless of the season that you're in. Ma'am, He formed you in your mother's womb. Here's His promise. He wants to spend eternity with you. That is His heart's desire, to live every day with you and to live forever with you. I want to close these moments and ask you to stand with us, because our screens are dysfunctional today. 2 out of 3 are dysfunctional. You tell me why, and we'll both know. You know, sometimes we come into a sanctuary and you don't understand what's going on behind the scenes. Devin came to the platform first service, and most of them didn't know, neither did you, that he'd been on his belly under a computer in a sound booth just moments before. Life is a journey. And our gift to you today is to tell you that He is with you. You are never alone if you will let Him be with you. In season, frustrating seasons, devastating seasons, joy-filled seasons.